Howdy neighbor, we are here today looking at the flowers that we could be adding to our garden in the month of May, and I am so excited. Even on the drive here, the flowers, the oleanders, the plumerias, they got me feeling a little bit tropical. So I'm gonna be going around, we're gonna be finding some more flowers for the garden, and I'm gonna show you like 20 to 30 ideas of flowers that you could add for the month of May. Let's first start here. We have the salvia. Ooh, the blue salvia. I love this one right now. It is so rich, so purple, and clearly the bees love it. At this time of year, when it comes to like my native flowers, we're losing some of the blues and purples, and we're heading into more of the hot colors because it's just warm out. This salvia really brings us back into the blue in the month of May, and it's just so pretty. And what I like about this one is that even if it gets a little leggy, you can prune it up and then get more stalks, get more flowers. Oh, so pretty. And with this pot that we're gonna be putting together a little later, and having a plant like this near my vegetable garden can actually be really beneficial because the plants in my garden are things like tomatoes and peppers, which could use a little help from bees to get more produce. But honestly, let's be real, these flowers are really for me and the bees and the butterflies just to look pretty. This next one that we could be adding is Angelonia. Now this one, I really like the look of it because it's got that foxglove vibe, even though from my understanding, foxgloves should be out of season. But this one, it's really got kind of that richer color that I feel like sometimes you see with tropical plants, but also can give me some cottage garden vibes, which you know me. We love a cottage garden vibe. We like to bring it down here into the subtropics of tropics of Florida. So I really, for me, I'm thinking about this one, but I like that this one gets a lot taller. And this one's in a smaller pot that I'm showing you here, but there's a bunch that are in these bigger pots. Oh, that purple, that's pretty. Ooh, if you were choosing between that pink and that purple, which would you choose? But this is gonna be like another taller plant, and I like that. I like that we can get some tall stalks of color, and I like how dense this is versus the salvia that we looked at earlier. Now, I wouldn't want something this big. I could take something this big because we've got a big whiskey barrel that we can fill, but I like that this is up. I like that this is purple. I like that that's pink. I'm not sure what I'll do with that information, but I really like both of them, and I really want to add both of them. Ooh, but this one. Dahlias, oh my gosh, dahlias. I saw these recently at a flower festival, and I have been thinking about them a lot. And I am no pro at dahlias. I honestly thought you couldn't grow them here, but there are some varieties that you can grow here. Oh, there's even more over there. Oh, look at these yellow ones. They're very pretty. Looks like I got a few different options, and you might too. So we've got kind of these darker, richer red, pink ones, and then we got these yellows, and it looks like the ones over the cart here are kind of more of a peach color. And honestly, I like this color. Oh, so that must be the other color. Then we got kind of these ones. I like that color. I think that's like more my favorite. I love a pink mauve color. Is that showing up nicely so you can see it? That's pretty. Ooh, I don't know. Let me think about that one. And maybe you should think about them too. Now, one that I will not be adding to my garden this month, but we did add it back in March, and you could too, is Coreopsis. So this is a non-native Coreopsis, but just earlier today, I went to my favorite native nursery and I bought my favorite type of Coreopsis that's native to my area. And we'll be adding that to the garden in another location, but not into the pot. What I love about Coreopsis or Coreopsis is that they are definitely a bee-friendly plant. And in my garden right now, not only am I getting bees on it, I'm getting butterflies on it. And it's just like a really nice, bold yellow-orange marigold. Maybe let's go with the name marigold with this particular color. This is really pretty. You might want to add to your garden. Ooh, that's pretty too. Oh, back to the dahlias. That color is really pretty right there. Ooh, and that one back there is even pretty too. Ooh, and here's another one that I saw at this flower and garden festival, which is foxgloves, which are super pretty. I did not know we could grow these here, and since the festival is held only like an hour and a half from my house, it makes me want to try this. Now, I don't think it's gonna last that long, maybe a month or two, and if I put it in the big pot, I don't know if, like, it might shorten its life for me. But if you live further north, because I live in zone 10B, this may be a really good option that will last a lot longer. I suspect based on where they have this located with a little bit of shade on it, that it may not be very happy in the location that I would pick, because it'll be like full blasting sun for a good 6, 7, maybe 8 hours. But that's pretty, right? Oh, there's some really pretty flowers here right now. I really just love this pink color. It's got like a little bit of purple to it. Yeah, like right here, it's a little bit more purple. And then of course, I just love the little spots inside them. Oh, they're so pretty. I never thought this was a thing that I could grow in my area, but to know that I might be able to do this and maybe get a little head start with these transplants, this could be a fun thing to try this year. Ooh, Verbenas, Verbenas. Now, some of you told me last month that I said, like, I think Verbenas are kind of heading out from my area, but some of you live a little further south of me, and you said, no, the Verbenas are still going. Both the native type and these non-native types. And look at this purple. We did not have this in past months. Past months, we were kind of looking at whites, but now we're into purple. That is really pretty. And I know verbena, my bees love it, and sometimes my butterflies love it too. And I like that. There's some really pretty bold color combinations that we could do. Next up, of course, this is less of an annual like some of the others we've been looking at, and more of a perennial. And of course, this is Pentas. In my garden right now, Pentas are just covered in butterflies. Like one plant, 3 Gulf fritillary butterflies at a time. It is literally insane in my front garden with all my red Pentas. And what I like about them for where I live is they grow pretty much all year. They bloom most of the year too, if not the entire year. And I have this red color, but I'm really, you know me, I'm a sucker for pink this year. There's been so many pink flowers, pink things, pink shirts I've been wearing, so we never know. But I think with this pot, because for me, we already have a lot of Pentas, I'm gonna try to be more adventurous and do some other things. But if you're thinking about adding flowers, you may wanna go into the Pentas. And it's one of those good ones that you can put in a space and not have to be flipping it every few months. I mean, you're gonna put it in and you're gonna have it all year or most of the year. We have our daisies. These are really pretty. And these have been looking good since late winter in my area. And I just think if you are a yellow girly, you should think about adding these daisies. They're really pretty. I've seen them in some really bold combinations at the festival. For me, it's not my shade of yellow, but I think if you love that yellow, you should do this one. And this one, Bee Balm, Gara, this is so pretty. And I've been thinking about this one. I had it over there, you can see it's with the sage. We can go over there in a minute, but this is just like a fun one because if you wanna have something, again, kind of up and coming through, this one can be a really great plant, and then combine it with something lower to fill in this, like you kind of see this green space. Yes. I've been a fan of plants like in the Gara for about a decade now, because we have a wild Gara that has a very similar, like the stocky structure that is in bloom out in the wild right now. It doesn't have as bold of a pink as this one does, but they definitely have very similar vibes. And this one seems to last a lot longer. And if we're in kind of more of a controlled landscape, that might be something we want to consider doing. As we're going through all these choices, I have a couple different projects I'm trying to fill. Not only my one single whiskey barrel, but I have a couple of pots that are in the front, that the cool weather flowers that I planted earlier this year, they're done, they're on their way out. Plus I was a little aggressive with one of the pots that I planted, and I planted, I don't even know, like 10 plants in one whiskey barrel. It's too much. So I'm gonna pull some of those plants and then maybe just put take 8 plants out, put one back in, kind of idea. So we have a couple of other options that like, we're gonna have one pot we'll put together, but like some others we're gonna fix in. So we got some choices that we can make today. And similar to last month, I have the Gaillardia growing wild in one part of my garden. And this is one that like really just so pretty. So pretty. I love how it's got a lot more of this red. This is definitely a bee magnet. I mean, what thing in here isn't a bee magnet, but this one, I love it right now. For me, it's just kind of spilling over a wall, and it just can be so pretty. I mean, this is like a flower that likes to grow in those big, sunny, open spaces, and part of me wants to get this, but since I already have something in my garden like this, I won't get it, but you might want to get it. It's just so pretty. It's a nice mounding plant that doesn't get too high up. Yeah, Dianthus, you guys helped me last month. I said, hey, I think Dianthus will be heading on the way out in my area. And some of you said, no, 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 you can definitely still do this one at this time of year. And I'm so happy you shared this with me because I'm still on a learning journey. I know a lot about plants. I know a lot about native flowers. But when it comes to my non-native flowers, there's so much I still have to learn. And so I'm going based off of what information I can find out there, but hearing from your actual gardens, what is lasting in similar cities, areas to where I live down here in Central Florida is really, really helpful. So I appreciate all of you guys who shared that, like, hey, no, your Dianthus, you still have time on it. So thank you. And I really like this feathery look of this type of Dianthus. I love the pink that they have going on here. And it not only is adding color, which it's giving you, like, look at this is like pink. It's giving you a nice block of pink, but it's also giving you texture, which I think is something that is really nice to have a little bit of both of. So this is just like a really pretty choice, considering. Must consider this for the projects we have today. Ooh, look at these petunias. So I think this is a little bit different variety of petunias, or maybe they're just taller. They're definitely different colors of petunias versus what we were seeing earlier this year, because look at this pink. It's not quite the flamingo pinks that I planted back in the winter time. These are definitely a little bit richer, and they got this yellow interior, which I think is really pretty. And it definitely gives more of a tropical vibe to me, even though I'm sitting here and comparing it to like a flamingo. But I just feel like this kind of mimics what we see with like plumeria flowers, you know, that you see like in the Polynesian, Hawaii area, where they have that pink and then they have like the yellow interior. I have a plumeria that's like that, so it just kind of reminds me of it. And this is definitely giving tropical. I feel like for where I'm living right now, it's probably gonna need to be like more of a semi-shade, and well, seems like the lows would say so too. But I love how it's bringing pink and brightness and a little bit of that warmth of yellow to this cooler area. Ooh, I added this one to my pot last month, not this color, but this flower. And this is of course a Sunpatient, not an impatient, but a Sunpatient. And Sunpatiens, what is so great about them is they are from the tropics. So for us who live in these really hot climates, these really subtropical, tropical climates, my zone 9s, my zone 10s, even maybe my zone 8s, my zone 11s, these can handle a lot more heat, humidity, and sun intensity than your classic impatient. And so if you had an area that had impatiens, you can flip over to these Sunpatiens. And I am loving the way these are looking in my garden right now. This was a good choice. But because I'm trying to, of course, do a lot of variety in my garden, we will not add any more Sunpatiens, well, at least not into one of my garden pots. I might be needing them for my front area because my petunias that I planted at the end of last year, they're done, and so we need something to replace them with. And I think I'm gonna go with a Sunpatient, but don't think I'll go with that color, but who's to say? Ooh, they still have the Alstroemerias out, and they are very pretty. I got a bouquet for my husband just because, and it has some Alstroemeria in it. They are so pretty, and I am loving these colors. They are giving Easter vibes, even though Easter's just passed. But I like that. I like that together. Yep, I think I'm gonna go lean more tropical, but if you are considering getting a little bit taller flower, and of course just the texture and the height, these are pretty. I honestly, though, have never seen anyone grow these in a garden before, so I really don't know how the best way to place these are. And I really would love if you've grown Alstroemeria in your garden, let us know. Like, was it semi-shade? Was it full sun? Are we a little late in the season? Are we a little early in the season? Ooh, this is just Melopodium. I think this is so pretty. They also call it, looks like, Blackfoot Daisy. This is just so cute. Oh, could you imagine just like a field of that? Because it would just be so pretty. I don't know. I kind of want to do it, but I kind of don't want to do it, but I kind of want to do it. But these, see, I'm not as much of a daisy girl like that, but a daisy girl like this. I think I'm kind of getting converted on these cute white flowers. Yes, they are really pretty. And honestly, this is very distracting over here because I can smell it. I keep sniffing the air like, what is that? These are so pretty. It says they are a sentimental blue balloon flower. I am not familiar with this, but I can tell you it smells gorgeous. It kind of reminds me of a vine that I've seen that I think is an invasive species to my area, which is called not skyflower. Something sky, something cloud, something like that. If you know, let me know. but it smells really pretty, I'll tell you that. And the bees seem to really like it too. It really has a very strong odor in a nice way. So I don't know. I don't know anything about this one. This is the first time I've ever seen it at the flower store, so I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know if it's a bad idea. I don't know what I don't know, but it's here and it hasn't been here. So my guess is they're trying to get us all to buy it now. I do know, and this is Phlox. And we have native Phloxes to where I live, but they are a lot lower growing and they're bluish in color. And these are not the type that are native at all, but they still are really pretty. And some of these garden Phloxes, or these ones are the early start series Phlox. These I do know, like, they can get a little bit taller, which is really pretty. And I love these clusters of pink, light pink, ooh, and these purple ones. These are very pretty. They definitely give more spring vibes, and we are still in spring. But I think for what I'm gonna end up doing, we might go, well, we're either gonna go spring or we're going summer, I don't know. But this is really cute. And it looks like they've got, let's see, early start Phloxes. Yep, that's part of the same series. And then 21st century Phlox, which, what a name. But those are cute, those are pretty. I'm still looking at you guys, you dahlias. But let's keep going. Part of me just wants to buy dahlias now. Okay, over here we have actually your classic, nope, these are Vincas. I was gonna say they were Impatiens because I was staring at the leaves, but nope, those are Vincas. And Vincas grow really well in this area. Ooh, that's a pretty pink. That's a pretty pink. I like that. That's pretty. And it's nice that they have these in the tray, so if you want to use them as a ground cover, though they do get a little bit taller, leggier, and they won't stay like as low and tight to the ground as like the Petunias would a few months ago, or I know some Impatiens will do, but they have clustered of them, and it's always nice to get a whole tray if you're going to fill a lot of space. And here is another classic, zinnias. Last month we have orange, this month we have yellow. That's cute. Now, zinnias that I'm familiar with is more when people grow them in the vegetable garden, and they tend to be very tall, but they might have a different variety and it stays low because I don't think they usually go and flower at this height. Let's see, what do these say? It says 10 to 36 inches. So maybe they will get taller. I don't know. I think I've said this before, I'm not as big of a fan of this shade of yellow. This is kind of a pale, like if you look at it like that, it's more of like a pale butter or lemon yellow. That's not for me. But if you like that, this is giving a lot of it. Oh, they must have sold out of them. The Kalanchoes, this is what I added to my garden last month, and we did not have it. Orange as a choice. We had a red, we had a pink, we had something else. Not this shade, that's cute. That's cute, but we already added it. But Kalanchoes, a lot of people have told me they act more like succulents in the garden, and the hummingbirds tend to like them. And I've been starting to get hummingbirds in my garden, so hopefully they find this. They found other flowers, but maybe they'll find this one too. And kind of in the bold reds and oranges, we still have Gerber daisies. Wow, these ones are nice and big and bold, and they definitely are keeping them in the shadier area because it is hot out. But these are gonna add like a nice big pop of color. Very pretty. Begonias. So these are the dark leaf begonias. So sometimes you can get these wax begonias with bright leaves. They're more of like a bright green, and then sometimes you get them with these reddish tinged leaves. I found that in my garden, I guess with the soil I have, they turn like red, the leaves. But they come in 3 colors, these flowers. You can have the pink, I was gonna say the white, but that's still pink, white, and then the reds. And they're really pretty. I found that in the slightly cooler months, these have filled in really beautifully. My pinks are still filling in into one of my beds, but this is a really pretty plant. I do know that once we get a little bit later in the summer, these will get really stressed out. So if I were gonna do these, I was gonna do them in more of a semi-shade, but it depends really where you live. They're the Impatiens. I knew they had some here. And for my area, Impatiens are out. But if you live further north than where I live, and I live in St. Petersburg, the Tampa Bay area, then Impatiens could still be in for your area if you're like a zone 8, zone 9. But definitely for me in zone 10, we're done with this. But it could be an option if you're a little bit further north. And hydrangeas, ooh, they're so pretty. I feel like they're gonna die immediately in my garden, but I had seen them at the garden festival. They did have hydrangeas going, which I thought was a bold choice because that garden was in zone 10A. Here we have Kufia. It kind of reminds me of Mexican heather, but it's not Mexican heather. So I'm not familiar with this one, but you guys tell me about it. Here's the Kalanchoes, one of the colors that we had last month. Very pretty. So you can see there's a difference. There's the reds. There's some. This is more of a bold pink. I got a peach type last month, so that's really pretty. More of our Sunpatiens. And then we have a little Vincas. Oh, those are super cute. And are these like mini petunias? Calabrocha. Oh, Calabrocha. I've been seeing that name as something we can plant. I did not know that's what these are. They're so pretty. Oh, I might have to do a quick Google of Calabrocha because I didn't even know what to look for, but I love that. What do you guys think of Calabrocha? This is nice and delicate, and I get the feeling it might, that's right, hang down. So if we put it in the pot, it might come over the sides. Ooh, that might be pretty. Ooh, this is the type of heliotrope. I know our native heliotropes. There's two different native pineland heliotropes. This is similar with how the flower looks, but not, they kind of have like little, I don't know how to explain it, like lizard tails. This is cute. This is obviously not a native heliotrope, but this is very pretty. I like that. It's kind of like butterfly weed with the cluster flowers, but instead of like on a stalk, it's kind of like in a little flat platform. That's neat. And of course, May, we can still do marigolds. Marigolds, I like these ones. I don't tend to like the ones that are just like one color. Those are pretty, but my vegetable gardeners are all about the marigolds. And because they have, you know, qualities that can help you with pests in the garden. But honestly, for me, I'm more about, do I like the flower? Is it cute? And then can it help my butterflies, my bees, and my whole garden holistically? And for me, this is not for me, but I like it now that I see this with this variegated color. Because I actually really like how, see how like the little edges? That's really pretty. Maybe. Ooh, zinnias again. But now we're taller. We got kind of a cream color. It's not actually white. Does it look white to you guys? Because it's like slightly off-white. That's pretty. Actually, they kind of remind me of those Melopodium daisies. Those, I think, what is blackfoot daisies, their common name. I feel like these would go together if you kind of wanted this like whitish garden, which I know some people really like doing. Let's see what else we have. Torenia. Those are pretty. I've never grown Torenia. Don't know enough about them. Ooh, I checked my list, and yes, Torenia is an option right now. Oh, how interesting. Oh, this could be nice because like we kind of have violas heading out. We have now those Torenias, and what was that other flower over there? Yeah, we have some options of these kind of little or delicate flowers, which I feel like can be a harder thing. But maybe we'll do something with Torenia. Oh, I didn't know. Because I do like that trumpet shape. Yes. Oh. Yep. Celosia. Still time for celosias. Oh, and they have lots of little ones. That's always nice to have the little plants. They have it in yellow. They have it in this like peachy, orangey color. I feel like they have more of an orange before, like here, there you go, that's what I mean by the orange. So there's like kind of like this like peachy orange, and then there's like a orange. And then we got red, super cute, Portoloqua. They also know as moss rose. These are in the succulent-ish family. So these can do well if you, they're better at holding water if you're not great at watering. Those are really pretty. I've never seen them in yellow before. I've seen this shade of pink before, but not the yellows. So that's really pretty if you want to kind of do a combination of those. What's that? Sages. Oh, lots of little sages. We love to get a little plant. It's much easier to bury also. Ooh, what? 5 for 5? I didn't know we were having a 5 for 5 day. This is perfect because I gotta take those petunias out and I gotta put a lot of little plants in front. We love a 5 for 5 for that. Okay, so less flower and more for texture and just kind of breaking up your flowers. You have Coleuses. Sometimes we need a little bit of that. It's just a leafy plant. Personally, if I was gonna do a Coleus, I like that better. But sometimes you just want like a bright green just to kind of give a backdrop or give some breakup of color with the eye. So something to think about. Impatiens, my area, these are kind of heading out, so I'm not gonna do any impatiens. But could be a good choice if you live further north. Look at these peachy Verbenas. And they're in that 5 for 5. Ooh, and I love that peach. That's really pretty. something to think about. They actually have another type of Coreopsis. This is cute. This kind of actually reminds me of my favorite native one, but it's a little bit different. But this is cute. And I mean, native, non-native, Coreopsis you can be planting at this time of year. Oh, we also have a 2 for $10 deal. Nice. Oh, I didn't notice they have ageratums here. This looks so much like our native one, seaside ageratum. I can tell you the leaves are a little bit different, so I know it's not the native one. It'd be really unlikely they have it, but man, is it close. It's very pretty. Ooh, I love ageratum. They also had tons of trays of Vincas, but it looks like one family is going to totally take those out. So they're going to be doing lots of Vinca planting. And we also still have our like Mexican heather still in. They have more Pentas. I think we've hit a lot of the like standalone plants. And now we're kind of more into the areas where they have like the set and forget pots. So I think for me, it means it's time to figure out what I'm gonna plant. And I'm just really struggling not to want to get the Dahlias. You know, they're really pretty, like really, really pretty. So I'm gonna do a little walk around, have a little think. And the areas that I need to grab for is, one, I need to grab flowers for the front so that I can backfill where my petunias were. I need to grab flowers for the new pot. I need to grab flowers to backfill the one pot where I have Dusty Millers. I need to grab for the other pot. Wait, how many pots did I say now? Well, we'll just see. Let me have a think and then I'll show you what I got. Okay, I've gotten a lot of flowers. I've gotten some stuff up front. I've got something to replace the ready set pansies. I've got that like are on their way out, if not like they should be gone. I've got stuff to replace the delphinium that faded, a new pot, and to replace the natives. So I've got lots of flowers. I'll show you when we get back and how it's all gonna combine together. I think it's gonna be really pretty. Gotta have you be in that hibiscus. So I'll show you when we get back. Okay, we're back and we got a lot of stuff. I got stuff for our new pot that's gonna go here. I got flowers for the pot that we put together in January, I think. And I even got flowers to undo, I think it's our February or March pot. I can't remember which one. No, it's our. And then I got flowers to redo our February pot. What do we wanna do first? Do we wanna focus on the new shiny thing? Is that what we wanna do? Let's focus on the new shiny thing first. So the pot that we're gonna do over here, which is gonna be near our Kalanchoes and Sunpatiens, our Coreopsis and butterfly weed, is going to have a thriller that is our purple Angelonia. I'm super excited to try this plant. I think this is gonna be really pretty over here. It's got height, it's got a really like rich color, and I think that's gonna be really nice against the Kalanchoes, and I'll show you it in the area in a second. I think it's just gonna work really well with these kind of really bold tropical flowers that we have over here. So this, I think it's gonna be just so pretty. Now, I was trying to think through with like some of these other vibrant colors that we have going on, like what can like be with it and pair well without blending in too much, because there were some other ones that had really bold colors that I was like, but then they were in the purple range and I'm like, it's gonna be a lot of purple. I don't know. But I've never tried Kalanchoes before, and I thought this pink with the yellow in the middle paired with the Angelonia, like, right? What do you think? That feels like it's gonna be super pretty. So I got a few of these small ones to go around and be more like a filler around our Angelonia. I think this is gonna be really pretty. Then, and you're gonna love how this comes together. I'll talk a little bit more about them over there, but we're gonna take apart the January pot. I'm gonna remove a few things. I'm gonna remove most of the things, but I'm gonna leave Dusty Millers in, and we're gonna take out what was the delphinium, and we're gonna put in place of it, we're gonna try a Foxglove. I'm so excited for this. I've never grown this before in my garden. I've seen them at like garden festivals and stuff, but haven't put it in my garden, so I'm really excited to try it out. Now the difference is this side of the garden is getting a lot more sun, and where those are, they're getting just a tiny bit of shade. They're getting a little bit of shade from the mulberry, so, and a little bit from like a pine that's like way across the yard, but because it's so tall, it kind of throws some shade a little bit earlier on that side. So I think this will be good, because in the hottest part of the day, it will start to get some shade. in theory. The other pot that we're gonna do, so we're gonna take away our February pot and we're gonna put dahlias in it. Is this pretty? It's like a pinky peachy mauve color, which is like one of my favorite flower colors. And I'm just excited to also do this. It's similarly gonna be on that side where it gets like maybe just like a smidge more shade. So maybe that can like make it happier, maybe. And with it, we're gonna put the ageratum. What do you think? I really wanted to do this ageratum because it's very similar looking to our native one. It's not the same. I can tell the leaves are much bigger and like they kind of curl, and our native ageratum does not do that, but the flowers are really similar. So I really wanted to try pairing these together. And it was interesting, as I was walking around with this one and just like kind of like taking it up to other flowers, I noticed with a lot of flowers when I put this near it like made it look more grayish. Like it took the vibrancy away. But then when I put it and paired it with the dahlia, I was like, oh, it's like that's it. That's gonna be it. So we're gonna do that. And then we had one of these ready set pots or ready refill pots. And I did pansies like in January. So we're gonna just do calabrochas. We know that there's way too many plants in here. We know that this is like only gonna last so long, but you know what? I thought this paired really nicely with the dahlias, the foxglove, the dusty millet. Like I feel like, especially like because of this peachy color, this kind of like peachy color, and this is a little bit, I know the sun's coming through, so they look really, really vibrant, but I felt like they were just a little bit more toned down, that I think they're gonna pair really pretty and nice. So those are what I picked up. I did pick up stuff for up front. We're not gonna do that today. I'll probably do it later just because, you know, I only got so much sunlight left. So we're gonna focus on these ones. And I also grabbed, I went to my native nursery, and at my native nursery, I grabbed some stuff for one of my forward beds and for the pot up front. So I've been doing a lot of flower shopping today. I've been doing a lot of flower shopping today. But today we're just gonna focus on getting these little cottage gardens in a pot all done. So let's get that. So I put the pot right here. I think this makes like a nice little triangle, and it gives us a little bit of space to do one smaller pot, like right here in the future. Maybe one of those ready set fills, or just something a little bit smaller that maybe it's like that height, and I think it'll look really cute. So we're gonna put that there. We're gonna get it filled with soil, mix the soil, hydrate the soil, and then plant. The soil's already very moist, but it's very hot. Oh wow, is it hot? Homemade sprinkler. We're gonna test the height of the Angelonia, because if you remember, we want the top of this plant to be about an inch lower. Calabrochas are a lot smaller, so we will definitely have to backfill with soil, but this is perfect. So we're just gonna even the soil out. Wow, is it hot? It was out in full sun at the store, so it was definitely just hot, hot, hot. This gal, our little Angelonia. And then we are a bit root bound here. Sometimes I just tease them out, or I just rip them off and let them start fresh, because I need to get down into the ground. Oh, there's a nice big one. Okay, so we're gonna go right here. Let go. Right there. Okay, so we'll get our next bag of soil, and we're gonna just upfill, because we need probably another, I'm gonna guess 3 inches for these calabrochas. Let me see. About 2 inches. Okay. And the nice thing was they had a deal on the potting soil too. So that was nice. We're gonna buy something anyways. We can get it on sale. Oh, why not? Oh, I'm not gonna dump it in the Angelonia. I'm gonna put like about half a bag. And let's not bury my hose. Let's see about where that gets us. Once I even it out. Oh, I can just feel like steam coming off of this. Oh, that might be about perfect. Hooray. And I'm just gonna keep this hose running just to help cool the soil down, because it is hot. So we're gonna do like, what I like to do is kind of do a, let me turn your lights a little bit, is make like triangle. I did similar with last month's pot. So that's one of the things I like to do, so then it's a little bit more even. Now we do have the Coreopsis right on this side, so we'll want to focus our flowers so the triangle is like 1, 2, 3. If that makes sense. Let me pull you up so you can see that a little bit better from up high. So now you're kind of like straight above. It might look like the Angelonia is not centered. It is centered. It's slightly tilted though. But we're kind of doing like 1, 2, 3, because I know that Coreopsis will kind of shade, will shade this side a little bit. This might be a little bit easier to see now. So when I'm making my triangle right now, I'm trying to put, like if I triangled like this plant's gonna get totally shaded out. So by making the triangle more like the no plant is closest to the Coreopsis, then we increase the odds that these are gonna like spill and fill. And it will just be a little bit less even, but this will be more full, and that's okay, because it'll be cute, and that's what we want. So let's go ahead and, I didn't even read you the tag earlier. So our Angelonia, this is the Archangel Dark Purple, and it's gonna get 12 to 14 inches high, so just over a foot, and 10 to 12 inches wide, which is very nice. And it blooms in the summer, which is great. Because even though we're in the middle of spring, even the end of spring feels like summer, so we'll take it. And then our Kalanchoes is gonna be 6 to 10 inches tall. So this is very like filler, and 10 to 12 inches wide. So we're gonna get a good foot. And this pot is 23 inches. So we know that this is like a foot. So a little bit of wiggle, everyone should fit just fine. So there's about 2 bags for a container this size. And these are the 25 quart bags for your information. I could use a shovel like a normal person, but I'm a girl who just uses her hands. It's easier, I feel like. I don't know. Do you use a shovel or do you not? Also, what do you guys think of this first combination? I'm really excited about it. I've been really excited to try all these new plants. It's been really nice, and they've added a lot of color and attracted a lot of bees and butterflies back here. It's been really fun to like just see what happens in these little pots. That's very muddy. Well, I'm definitely hydrating the soil, that's for sure. Okay, everyone's in. I'm gonna keep letting them drink while we go and do the next pot. Okay, y'all can see, this is what this looked like. This isn't doing so great. So some things like these pansies keep coming back, but remember these ready set refill plants, they are like, I don't even know how many plants in one single pot. So that's gotta come out. The natives, that again, I put way too many in this, I put way too many in this. That's just really what's happening here. So all of these are gonna come out. I don't wanna keep the tropical sage. I've talked about this a lot in other videos. It's just, it reseeds a lot and it's just pushing everything out. So it doesn't mean I'm not for tropical sage. I love tropical sage, but what I'm finding is easier is like just to have a space for it. It's kind of similar with the narrow leaf yellow top. Like it has its space, that it's just its space. And then I can maintain it and not worry about it crowding other things out. And I need to do the same thing here. So we're just gonna take everybody out of that pot. We're gonna take many of the things, pretty much everything but the Dusty Millers, which is this white plant. And then we'll put the Foxglove in the middle, and then we'll put the other stuff in here, and then we'll do our ready set pot. So let's first take out the things we don't want to keep in there. Okay, so you can see we had Dianthus. There's just too much going on here with this Dianthus. And what's happening basically is there's so many plants, there's so much root system that nobody's happy. This was Viola's. So when everyone was small, it was okay. But now that plants have gotten bigger, everyone's struggling to get water. So it's just better to like cut our losses and just take things out than try to let it all struggle. I have already gone through this life lesson with my vegetables, so I'm used to it. Now these begonias actually look decent. Maybe I just relocate them up front, because look at this, the leaves have gotten red and rich. I wonder if I can extract them. Let me get the other stuff out. And all of this straight into the compost bin. It's right there. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna see, what can I do? Can I get these guys out? I wonder if I could. I'm gonna go get a shovel. Let's find out if I can get them out. These actually look like they might be good to come back out. And the question is, by taking them out, your root system. It came out. Okay, let me go grab a pot. I will tell you, these are looking so good in my front yard, these wax begonias. So I think if it was in a much bigger space, it would be way happier. And you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Dusty Millers, 4 wax begonias. I had 2 Dianthus, I mean, like, that's a crazy amount of plants. Oh, here's even more viola. So we can just say goodbye. We had some great learnings, but we don't need the plants in here struggling to survive. Boom, there's one. And then we can like feel where the roots begin and end. Oh, like it's really close to the dusty line. So these, just gonna set on this pot, not well, but now we got like a bunch of holes in here. So also we're gonna put a foxglove in. Now this plant says it wants 2 feet, which is about how wide this pot is. And it'll look like that. What do you think? What do we think? I think it could compete with these dusty millers because they get pretty tall. And the foxglove gets 3 to 5 feet tall. I don't think it's gonna get that tall for us, but maybe a couple feet, maybe 3, and it'll push in between. So before I worry about backfilling with soil in these areas, let me just first dig a hole in the middle here. Now, word of warning that's like on here is that this is poisonous to your pets, to humans. So if you've got a dog or a family member who might put this in their mouth, that's a big watch out. I don't. Even though Shiloh, my big poodle, is Miss Nosy, she does not eat anything. She's actually really good about that. She's actually great about that. I will tell you, when I took this from the store, there were definitely bees that were like, ma'am, could you hold off on your purchase because I'm enjoying these flowers. They're super cute. Big fat bumblebees, carpenter bees. I'm a big fan of my bees. Bees are fans of me. I think the foxglove really gives the height, gives a little bit of color, simplifies a lot what was happening. I think that's my lesson, is I need to simplify what I'm doing. But yeah, I think this is very pretty. I like this. It's giving frosty, it's giving whimsical, it's giving cottage garden. Yes. But now I need to fix this. Similar problems. It's a combination of, it's drought, we have a drought, and even though these are native, I way overplanted. I mean, that's it at the end of the day. I think I'm gonna be turning these pots enough. Oh, my poor plants. They tried. My natives were trying here. I think I've made a choice that in general I'm not gonna do my natives in pots because they have such big root systems. Look at this comparatively, you know, versus those begonias and stuff. Like, they just have such big root systems, which is phenomenal, but I think it's better that they're in the ground. But I like that I tried this because then I found some really cute combinations to put in a bed up front. We're gonna do things just a little different. Yes. First up, we'll have the Dahlia right there. That's gonna be so pretty. We're gonna have to dig out a lot of soil, but that's okay. It's easier to dig stuff out. Well, sometimes. This is super pretty. So this is a Labella Medio Series Dahlia. Supposed to bloom spring, summer, fall. I think we'll get through spring. Statistically unlikely we're gonna get through summer, but now it says it can get 24 inches high. So 1 foot, 2 foot, we'll see, and 18 inches wide, which would be about as wide as this pot. And then it says you're supposed to fertilize this monthly. I'm guessing because they have such big blooms. And it says 2 times per week for watering, more often when dry season. Well, that's kind of the story for all these plants. And this is even where like the disadvantage of the natives. I'm curious if I was more constrained and did just a single native plant in here. Like if I would have just done 1 rutabaga in here, how would it have handled it? I think it probably would have handled well, but then I would only have 1 big flower in this pot, and I think I could do better with it. There's a whole discussion between Ben and I about ripping out a whole bunch of flowers. So, not flowers, I'm sorry, ripping out a whole bunch of ferns and planting more native perennial landscaping back here is the theme of the discussion. Okay, so roots pretty good. Pretty good. Let's get you down in there. So that's about right spot. And once I move this other soil around for the ageratum, it's definitely. So what I'm thinking with this one, because triangle, again, I got 3 of them. I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, because usually when I see it, it's from this angle. So if I put an ageratum here, more likely to block. So I'm thinking 1, 2, and then 3rd in the back. So I planted this one slightly more towards you all. Yeah, the watering is super uneven because you can even tell like tomatoes are splitting, and that can be a sign of uneven watering. And by uneven watering, it's not my fault. I mean, it's, oh my. Oh boy. That's root bound. Not by like a little, a lot. Oops. And this one didn't have any information on it. I'm really going more off of like what I know of ageratums from the native plants. Specifically my seaside ageratum. What do we think of those colors together? And what do we think with those colors together? I feel like this is gonna look really cute, but not until we fix this part right here. This is a straight up, you take the pot out. This is it, that's all there is. It's one of these ready to fill. This was a petunia one. It's the 8 to 10 inches. So this is going in the compost, my lovely petunias. And we're just switching gears to Kalanchoes. And just like that, you go boom. How about that? Boom. 8 to 10 inch pot right in there, and you're done. That's all you have to do. It's just that simple. So if you're a totally beginner and you were really freaked out by doing anything, there are pots like that. I just think this is so pretty. We have such really pretty color combination happening over here. And now we have like such a beautiful tropical combination happening over here. I just can't even wait to see how this continues to come together. Now that we're done planting, I'm gonna go try to move those begonias up front, see if we can salvage them, and continue to water these plants in because it's just dry. And if you're looking for ideas of what could be planted this month, you can check out last month's video because a lot of the plants we could do last month, you can do this month, and you can learn more about this color combination that I did right here. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.